There are people that openly talk about the dangers of race mixing.
What's the danger of it?
Yeah, but those guys are all probably dorks.
They can't mix anything. No one wants to fuck them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing they can mix is their own nut in a cup so they can.
You guys know who Rachel Maddow is?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Who?
She's like the pixie haircut chick.
Short hair.
From, yeah, short hair.
MSNBC?
MSNBC.
Oh.
Hates on Trump, hates on Republicans, all that stuff. She's hating on Republicans extra hard.
But she's not the former like White House press secretary person, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of Jen Psaki.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not her. That's a redhead. This is a brunette-looking fella, but not a woman. Okay. I know you were thinking that, and I corrected you.
Fella.
Here we go. So
She's a pretty fella.
She blasts conservative politicians like J.D. Vance for referencing Lord of the Rings. Check this out.
She should.
And tell me if you guys think this is a fair thing.
What'd she say? F that guy, Mr. Frodo's.
He said one ring. He said one ring to rule them all.
Anybody else
One
think it?
presidency to rule them all.
I don't know shit about Lord of the Rings.
In the darkness, bind them.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's what he said.
Here we go.
Have my axe.
And you, my sword.
Named his companies after things in the Lord of the Rings series of J.R.R. Tolkien books. Lord of the Rings is a sort of favorite cosmos for naming things and cultural references for a lot of far-right and alt-right figures.
Oh, she's trying to give it the Pepe the Frog treatment.
Yeah,
You gotta be kidding me.
dead serious.
I didn't know Nazis love saying Mr. Frodo's.
That's what she's talking about. She says it's a nexus for white supremacist
Do
conversation.
you think neo-Nazis call their flag "My Precious"?
No.
Okay.
My preciouses.
You know.
But, dude,
I'm flying my precious.
remember how at UCI, one side of the dormitories is all called Middle Earth, so every building is labeled after a Lord of the Rings location?
Well, you guys are neo-Nazis.
Or the biggest nerds of all time.
That's got to be that's got to be a suable offense, right? If you're trying to attach somebody's IP with like Nazism, like,
It's pretty crazy.
All right.
Well, J.R.R. Tolkien is dead.
but then the estate of someone's got to own
Someone
that.
still owns it.
That's got to be a protected tree. You can't just like start saying that it's associated with something out of nowhere.
I've always thought Lord of the Rings is the complete opposite of like,
Right wing?
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was like left wing.
I thought it was just a fucking fantasy that has nothing to do with anything.
I would have thought that one too.
Yeah, like this is the nerdiest shit you could ever be into.
No, I thought they so like in my mind, right wing people are like ultra Christian and they wouldn't watch this stuff. And then,
Yeah,
like, so like
that's more
I
likely.
Thought, like people on the left are more into like like fantasy and world and then like like they like
Yeah, they're
anime
more-
conventions and shit. You know like
Right.
Yeah, they go to Renaissance Fair. You think that's a freaking...
I love Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, right wingers do Civil War reenactments,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And then left wingers go to like Renaissance Fair and Lord of the Rings cosplay things.
And now that's gonna be... That's stupid.
So everything's flipping.
So
I was Gandalf at the Quest Halloween party this
You
year.
were. It was a good
You
one.
were.
It looked
Yeah,
great.
It
You
was
looked great.
cool.
were you the gray or the white?
The gray, because he's more neo-Nazi.
I like the white better. So a venture capital firm founded by J.D. Vance with the help of Peter Thiel, right, the billionaire, is called Naria, Narya, which is after one of the Rings of Power. Apparently, you probably already knew that, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, clearly. So if you rearrange the letters N-A-R-Y-A, thank you, Aryan. So now, guess what? It's a dog whistle. What do you say about that shit?
I think Lil Wayne should make a Southern parody movie called Lord of the Blings, and it's about
It's really good.
one bling to rule them all, and they're just in the South drug dealing to get all the jewelry, and
Strong.
yeah.
Lil Wayne kind of looks like Smeagol too.
Do they go to Middle Earth?
Oh, I'd go there.
Middle Earth is just Alabama.
Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta's their kingdom,
Yeah.
and there'll be like a big fucking gang war.
My precious baby. Narya is one of the 3 rings made by the legendary elf Celebrimbor before the elves,
just said that.
right?
I just
But
saw
it was
that.
described as having the power to inspire others to resist tyranny, domination, and despair, as well as having the power, in common with other rings, to hide the wielder from remote observation and giving resistance to the weariness of time.
Okay.
Also, it's about bringing back the Third Reich and making sure
Hitler's
that
alive. He
master
fled to
race.
Argentina.
He is the Eye of Sauron.
Got it.
And then the resurgence of the neo-Nazis.
You know what? There are a lot of parallels.
I hate to see these things happen because that's. Remember what happened with Pepe the Frog with that meme, and now forever, like you can't even use it.
Joe used to have a Pepe shirt.
Yeah,
that
I
he
had a
wear.
Pepe shirt, and people were like, "I can't believe you're wearing that." And I'm all
I didn't know you're a white supremacist, Joe.
Do you remember when this was like the white power sign?
Yeah.
So we are at my coach's garage. We had a sign up, and we had like a little group called the OK Players Jiu-Jitsu, and it was like the logo was this with a bunch of jiu-jitsu tape because that's what people wear. And then during like the BLM stuff, like a bunch of people were like hitting up the page and like talking shit, saying like, "Oh, you guys are a bunch of white supremacists." Blah, blah, blah.
they don't even have one white member.
It's all Filipino dudes, all Filipino Chinese guys that all train with each other.
That was also Far East Movement's symbol for a while.
And this is a sign in scuba diving and in the military that everything's okay.
okay. That's the internet.
It's also the sign of, if you see this, I'ma punch you, bitch.
But scuba diving has white supremacist roots. Though.
Scuba. Exactly.
I understand that one.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
That's why I did
The thing
it.
is, like,
So I got certified.
neo-Nazism and all that, like white supremacy, is like it's such they're like losing fucking numbers. It's such a small
my
number.
God,
There's
yeah.
like recruitment's hella low. Like all those groups are fucking dying out.
I feel like it's hard to be a white supremacist when you just have access to the internet and like TikTok, and you're like, dude, this is just way better than having hate in my heart.
Imagine being a white supremacist and then you watch the first 5 minutes of Trump's speech and he's like, "Everybody is you're welcome in my party, black, Asian, all this." I'd be like, "Oh, I can't fucking believe you betrayed me like."
Turn your back on us.
I think it's actually impossible to be a true white supremacist. You're just a poser. Because it's so difficult.
Nobody embraces you.
Because you know how hard it is to, the whole like initiative of like buy black? How like black communities are like, from now on we're only gonna buy from black. That's so fucking hard. Yeah. It's also hard for white people to only buy from white people.
Yeah.
That means no Panda Express, no Taco Bell.
Well, nothing manufactured or imported either.
Yeah. Everything's from China.
It's harder. It's probably easier to be vegan.
Yeah.
Problem.
Bro, imagine you're a white
Yeah.
supremacist. You're on Temu. And you're like, God
gotta
damn,
buy
these deals are
American
too
black.
good. These deals are too fucking sick.
Imagine you're on Temu on an iPhone.
Yeah, you're like, oh God.
You can only
what
buy
I'm saying,
high-priced
dude.
goods.
You can only drink Arrowhead water.
You only wear Carhartt or something.
The only thing you could do is live in Pennsylvania and buy everything from the Amish.
I'm convinced
that's
there's
the only thing you could do.
There's no one who can do that. There's no one who can buy only from this one race. It just isn't possible.
No way.
In Japan, you can.
No way.
Well, it might come from China, but still, it's traded by Japanese hands.
Yeah, actually, it is kind of hard being a white supremacist.
Yeah.
We should.
A true white supremacist?
Who's your guy?
You know how like when you're vegan, another vegan gets mad at you for not being vegan enough? Yeah. That's gotta happen in this. Like, there's no way.
You're not down for the cause, brother.
Look at American History X. What happened there? He wasn't supremacist enough.
No,
Remember that he got out of
Because he had a
jail?
black friend.
Trump got elected with a woman campaign manager for the first time ever. And like everyone's like, "Oh no, white supremacists!" Shit. I'm like, "You think white supremacists are down for that shit?"
But they don't even like each other. Because the neo-Nazis don't like the KKK.
Right.
They're all like, "You fucking rednecks." And then they're like, "Well, what are you guys?" You know?
Isn't Vance's wife like Indian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he must be very white supremacist.
That's the part when you see somebody like accusing other people of being supremacists or being whatever. That's how you know they've never been accepted in a group, because it's really fucking hard for a whole group to be on the same page.
Nice.
It's really fucking hard.
It is.
If you've ever been part of a group, you know that someone is either slacking or doing it too much, and then it breaks up. And there's no such thing. It's too hard.
And usually the white supremacists that claim they're white supremacists, they're not actually the echelon of white, the upper. They're like the guys that are like, you're kind of like the losers of white.
You're the worst whites.
They're always the ugliest guys.
The history of groups in the world is that they all become factions. They always split off, just like the Bloods did, just like anybody else does. They hate each other. Someone will go off, start their own division.
Yeah,
They'll
and they
become
all fight
bigger.
each other.
Yeah, that's how.
Why did you leave the KKK?
Yeah, what happened?
Because I never joined it. But I know. What,
He doesn't like it.
how do you join the KKK even? I don't even know how.
You know a few warlocks.
I don't know anybody.
Warlocks.
They're called wizards.
Grand Wizards. Well, that's top dog.
Grand
Dragon
Hey, how'd you become a Grand Wizard?
I'm a great wizard. Gandalf the Grey.
My bad.
Okay.
He's a yellow mage.
But there are
First
people-
off, Gandalf also wore Naria in the Third Age, which is why he's inspired a lot
What
of
do you mean
people.
he wore her?
What'd you
Like,
say?
Naria, the ring.
Is
that
what
sounds
the
like a
name is?
woman's name.
There
I thought
are
he's gay.
people there are people that openly talk about the dangers of race mixing.
What's the danger of it?
Yeah, but those guys are all probably dorks.
They can't mix anything. No one wants to fuck them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing they can mix is their own nut in a cup so they can.
Their own nut in a garbage can.
Yeah, dude.
The funny thing is, like, there is no purity. Like,
Never.
humans
Never
are
has.
constantly fucking each
Yeah.
other and, like, changing.
Look at my wife, dude. She looks like a Mexican chick, and that's only because
there
of
is
forcible rape.
If
There's no such thing as purity.
Colonized.
The funny thing is, if we did run into someone who really was a white supremacist or any kind of supremacist, they're probably such, like, when you imagine them, they must be so alone,
And uptight.
bullied, and just
Uptight.
like, yeah, and not a person that you'd ever, like, associate with.
I think a good way to deal with the white supremacists is like to say what you said is like you're not a real white supremacist.
You're not,
You're a
yeah.
poser, and they'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, you're wearing a polo shirt made in Taiwan.
But the funny thing is, they're never the best of that race. Like,
No.
I feel like every race has them, right? In Japan, you have them.
Who's the greatest whites?
The ones that look good and they're successful.
Like the Winklevoss twins.
Winklevoss twins. We own them.
High caliber whites.
Elon's a great white now.
Yeah.
He's a great white.
Would it be better if he was blonde?
I would love it, obviously. I think I dream about it, but it'll never happen.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady's a good white.
Great white.
See, he's convincing. If he was like, "Hey, I'm a white supremacist," I'm like, I mean, like genetically, you're pretty. You did pretty good.
I understand why, and I wish I was white too now.
Yeah.
But it's never the ones that are actually crushing it that are like claiming it.
How much of a great white can he be? Because he's like pounding on Giselle Butchins,
Yeah.
and she's Brazilian.
And the fact that, like, when you go to the, let's say you want to only focus on the top elite white wealthy people, right? If they're all supremacists, why the fuck are they suing each other? They're
Yeah,
like trying
there's
to
no
make
unity.
each other go broke. Like, that's not how supremacists should be.
Yeah, there's no unity.
That's why they break off into factions.
They turn their back on each other. Yeah. The whites don't get along though. A lot of infighting.
There is.
If only they could just team up better.
I'm sure they prefer the company of whites.
If only. If only. There is no community in the whites. There's no.
I mean, look at they had the European Union, and then the UK guys just left too.
Yeah.
They can't do it.
No loyalty, no community.
Nope.
That's white people. It's awesome.